At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Happy Tuesday morning to you. Temperatures were definitely on the warm side yesterday, but we are starting to see temperatures begin to drop. In fact, the National Weather Service has dropped. Yeah, they went ahead and allowed the heat advisory for eastern Glen, western Butte County to expire early. It was supposed to expire at 8 o'clock this evening, so temperature is not quite as warm as we initially thought, but hey, at least we didn't see the triple digits, right? And not a bad start to the morning either. Some of the high clouds giving us a beautiful sunrise as we're looking at a live look from our Divine Sky Cam from the top of Divine Restaurant. Absolutely beautiful. And it's pretty mild out there this morning for the valley. 62 degrees for Redding, 65 in Chico. One of the cooler spots in the mountains in Alturas at about 38. Otherwise, 40s, even some 50s for some of the higher elevations, and low 50s this morning for the coast. Let's get you into your Krueger's quick cast, and you're taking a look at your skeeter meter for the week of May 11th, and the Shasta Mosquito and Vector Control has some advice on how to prevent areas of breeding grounds for those mosquitoes, like check those pet water bowls and troughs, plants that naturally hold water, leaky hoses, sprinklers and faucets, rain barrels, and water containers. You can always call the number at the bottom of your screen if you have areas of concern in your area. Check out your forecast for this morning. Again, as mentioned, it's going to be mild, a bit on the warm side as the sun comes up. It's going to warm up pretty rapidly, so make sure you get those chores done early in the day, and there will be some of that patchy fog and low clouds for the coast. Here you can see we are looking at a storm system off to our west. See that cold front? Well, that cold front is going to weaken and pretty much push up to our north, but it will clip extreme northern California, and this does mean eventually maybe a chance for showers later this evening and tonight and tomorrow morning for the coast. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty much dry for everyone else with mostly sunny skies. So for today, you've got temperatures low, maybe some mid-90s for some of the warmer spots today. We're talking 80s. I think most of us in the mountains should dodge that 90-degree mark, upper 50s to low 60s for the coast. And for tonight, we're talking temperatures in the upper 50s for the valley, 40s in the mountains, and looks like right around 50, give or take, tonight for the coast. Temperatures actually going on a bit of a roller coaster ride. A nice dip in our temperatures for Wednesday, which, by the way, 84, 85, mid-80s is still about 5 degrees above normal for this time of the year. So, yeah, bear that in mind. But still, at least 80s, right? Then it warms back up Thursday, Friday, a dip in the temperatures over the weekend, and warming up again for early next week. For the coast, temperatures generally upper 50s, low 60s, up and down with those temperatures inland and for all of the mountains as well. As you can see, Thursday, Friday, it warms up a little bit, dropping at our temperatures over the weekend, and then back in the mid to upper 70s and around 80 by Monday of next week. This is that time of the year we got to start thinking about that fire weather forecast. So let's start off with the winds, and here's what we got going on. Those winds are expected to pick up later this afternoon, but I guess the silver lining to the winds today is they're coming more from the south in the valley. South winds typically aren't as much of a dry wind, but still it's going to be dry nonetheless. And we've got those gusts possibly upwards of around 25, even 30 miles per hour. Unfortunately, the winds may stick around for the foothills just west of the valley later this evening and tonight. You can see those gusts possibly upwards of 40 miles per hour. Now, the winds won't be as strong tomorrow, but they are going to shift more from the northwest on Wednesday. And then it looks like more of that northwest wind on Thursday. And it looks like even as we go into Friday, those winds may be a little gusty at times as well. In fact, probably even stronger on Friday. So one of the things I want you to bear in mind when you look at this, the oranges certainly seem alarming, but they're not. You know, during the peak of the fire season, we typically see yellows and oranges, especially oranges on the map a lot. So that's not necessarily a major concern. What the oranges basically mean is we're in that mid-range, we're elevated risk. We don't have a lot of fuels right now out there. There are fuels, don't get me wrong, but not to the extent that we will see in the months to come. So we do have the winds picking up. That is enough to create some concern. We've already have, and we still have that fire up in northern Siskiyou County, right? And it's not 100% out, at least last I checked. But, right, so we have fires, and we've had fires. There was one in Trinity County a few days ago, right? So we have to be aware of that, all right? So we take into Wednesday, temperatures dropping, winds a little breezy, but look at this, right? We're in that low category. So that's good to see. However, by the time those winds pick back up again, we are going to see a little bit more in the way of that elevated fire risk here for your Thursday. All right, so again, just something to kind of bear in mind as we take a look at that. All right, take a look at that Divine Sky Cam once again here, looking at a beautiful shot of just some of the high clouds we have out there this morning, turning out to be a nice start to the day. There's a look at the spillway of Lake Oroville. Doesn't look like they're spilling much water over at this point. Taking a look at Main Street, Chico this morning. You've got the sunny skies this morning, a couple of high clouds looking up on Highway 99 at Neal Road. Looks like we got traffic flowing along there. And taking a look now at Crescent City Harbor District. I do believe, you know what, forgive me, that's an old image. It froze up on me since yesterday, so we don't have a current image there, but we do have Bald Hill West, and this is good to see. We don't have fog this morning out in the Hoopa Valley, so I'm sure they're very happy to see some sunshine out there this morning. Taking a look at Soda Ridge, looks like we've got the mainly clear skies there as well, just some of those passing high clouds. Looking out at Scott Valley, just some high clouds out there this morning, but no fog, and turning out to be a gorgeous start to the day. And there's a look at Lassen Park, the north entrance, and you can see, well, you know, not a lot of snow is there. We're reaching that time of the year now. A lot of that snow is melting if it hasn't already melted. All right, take a look at what's going on at Wind River. They've got some cool events going on, but of course it's next month, June 19th. That's their next big event. It's the 12th annual Bacon and Brew Fest. Now here's the thing I always recommend, especially with any kind of event. You just want to make sure you got a guaranteed slot, right? So you can purchase your tickets early. Just go to windriver.com, go to the entertainment section. You can see here as we go to windriver.com, you go to, let's see here. Let's take you back home. Let's see if we can find it. Entertainment. See right there? It says entertainment. You just click on the entertainment section. Events and, event calendar. You got the event calendar there. You've also got events and entertainment, and there you can kind of see the lineup. It all comes in, right? So again, the next big event they've got going on, yeah, they've got June 19th, the 12th annual Bacon and Brew Fest. So once again, I want to thank Wind River for their support of Coffee with Krueger. And taking a look at those weather headlines. Yeah, we're talking temperatures dropping, but still warm for today. A nice drop for your Wednesday. Bit of a roller coaster ride, though. Temperatures will go back up toward the end of the week, down again for the weekend, back up again early next week, and unfortunately, not much rain, if any, really, in the forecast. Now, let's talk about those chances for rain in the days to come, because we do have an area of low pressure off to our west right here. That's what's going to clip Northern California. Now, by tonight, by tomorrow morning, there may be a few showers working their way into parts of the north coast. Let's take a look at that on Futurecast. Here's this morning. There's the fog we have along the coast. Some of that kind of backing off a bit here this afternoon, but basically mostly cloudy skies along the coast. A couple of passing clouds off to the north, but that's really the extent of any cloud cover, right? There it is. Late tonight, early tomorrow morning. This is midnight tonight. You can see a weak band of showers. They quickly die out. This is a weak clipper system, so it's mainly going to be the coast that will see those showers. And then by tomorrow afternoon, it's all pretty much done with. In fact, really probably even done with by tomorrow morning. And then we go into Thursday afternoon. We're seeing some of those afternoon clouds still, that marine layer, but it kind of backs off a little bit here at times. So you will see some sunshine at times for the coast here over the next several days. But unfortunately, we are in that drier than normal outlook when we look at the Climate Prediction Center, warmer than normal. But what we're seeing here is nothing excessive, right? Yes, we have below normal, but just kind of barely below normal, right? And then, of course, we take a look at the warmer than normal conditions, kind of just barely in that category as well. So again, no excessive heat heading our way, but you can see this right here is that chance for showers for the coast tonight, tomorrow morning, but also that's going to help to draw in some cooler air. As that moves out, high pressure starts to settle in, but it's a flat ridge. You see this energy to the north, that is flattening out this ridge, so it's not going to be quite as hot, but still in the 90s for the valley for your Thursday and Friday. Then it looks like you can see some cooler air coming down. This is the drop of the temperatures over the weekend. But the other thing that I'm watching here is the potential of this becoming more of what we call an inside slider. When you have the area of low pressure to our east, high pressure to our west, the squeeze play between the two give us a bit of a strong north wind. The good news is by the time we get into Monday, that may shift eastward. The winds should start to die down at that point. But there's that roller coaster ride. Temperatures dropping tomorrow, up again Thursday, Friday, down again to the weekend, back up. And, you know, we're talking maybe some mid to even upper 90s by the time we do get into early next week. Taking a look at the lake levels, once again, very nice to see, over 100% for that historical average. We are seeing minor drops here, especially for Shasta Lake and Trinity, but we're still on a little bit of a phase here where the Lake Oroville is continuing to see these minor increases, only 3 feet from the crest at Lake Oroville, looking very healthy there. Low wave heights for today, but I do expect them to increase. We'll see if there's any small craft advisories tomorrow, but certainly not the case here for today with those northwest winds at about 5 knots. Your waves to the north at 3 feet at 7 seconds, and from the west at 6 feet at about 11 seconds. All right, so here's your neighborhood forecast, sponsored by Dignity Health and Grange Co-op. You've got those temperatures in the 80s for the most part for Trinity County. Now, really across the board, with the exception of the coast, because it won't be as dramatic, we're going to continue to see those up and down temperatures. Bottom line, temperatures dropping today, a little bit warmer for your Thursday, Friday, a bit of a dip in the temperatures over the weekend, going back up toward the end of the weekend and early next week. But for today, you're talking temperatures mainly in the 80s for Siskiyou County. No rain in the forecast for you. Modoc County, you're talking temperatures in the mid to even some upper 80s for some of your warmer spots. Eastern Mountains in the 80s, although Viola only about 74, 76 in Mineral, and Paradise about 85 degrees. And for your valley neighborhood forecast to the south, mid 90s. Yeah, it's going to be still pretty warm out there. Don't get me wrong. Even though the National Weather Service has decided to let that heat advisory expire, it's still going to be rather warm. Temperatures dropping on Wednesday, mid 90s by Thursday, Friday, and then that dip in the temperatures once again over the weekend. 92 for Redding, 93 degrees for Anderson and Palisadro, and look for a high of about 87 degrees in Whiskeytown. There's your 7-day forecast for Redding, and we're looking at temperatures dropping in the low to mid 80s for your Wednesday, warmer Thursday, Friday. Look at that. On Saturday, not a bad start to the weekend. We're about 83 degrees, and then upper 80s by Sunday, and getting much warmer by Monday of next week with a high of about 96 degrees. So it is getting significantly warmer in some spots. Checking in with some of you this morning, we've got Jackie Dixon saying good morning. Good morning to you from Trinidad. A couple of our regulars checking in. We got Curtis Brown. Good morning, Mike and everyone. Another fine day it is. A little bit on the warm side, but those winds will probably start to pick up here later this afternoon, but not too bad. Jeff Johnson saying, good morning, Mike. Not really ready for these 90-degree days just yet. Was really hoping for a long spring pattern until June, but this is where we live. We expect anything. Yep, that's 100% right. Well, thank you all so much for checking in. Thank you for watching this morning. We'll have more on this cooler weather, chances for showers for the coast, and what we expect as we go through the rest of the week and this upcoming weekend. Always, don't forget, you can always check the latest forecast at weathernorcal.com. I've got a free Weather NorCal app. Just search for Weather Space NorCal in your app store, and you can download it on your Android and on your iPhone. I've also got a 24-hour streaming channel available on Roku. It's also available on YouTube, anywhere YouTube is available, including your smart TV. So be sure to check the latest forecast. I do 3 updates a day, morning, noon, and evening, so you can always know what's going on, and you can always stay prepared. Well, have yourselves a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow morning right here on Coffee with Krueger.